extremely emotional as he's finally able to pet and hug his dog Jack again. The Husky Shepherd mix had been missing for 4 years, but Mike never gave up hope. His prayers were answered when he got a call from an animal hospital over 500 miles away from home. Jack was microchipped. They called Mike and told him they had his dog. He jumped in his car right away. And this is why they're called man's best friend.
And that's this week's edition of the News Hounds Now Update.
You know, I don't think dogs ever forget.
No, they shouldn't.
And they don't know if you're gone 10 minutes or 4 years. Thing to them.
Thought he just went to the mailbox.
That's right. That's our time for now. Thanks for helping out, Charlotte. Have a great weekend, everybody. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, how the Madison gas and electric transformer fires are affecting area lakes.
Plus, the family of the boy who was arrested by Madison police is still waiting to see what the city will do in response to multi-million-dollar lawsuits.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
Staying with us, this just in from the Channel 3000 Alert Center. Sun Prairie police are investigating an incident at the high school. The Sun Prairie School District says the police department received an anonymous phone call that there was an active threat at the school. Officers responded and students were evacuated and sent to the district service center, Cardinal Heights Upper Middle School, Sun Prairie City Hall, and also houses in the neighborhood. Law enforcement determined there was not an active threat. The school district says all students are safe. This is a developing story, however, and we will have the latest at channel3000.com and in our later newscasts. A local environmental group is drawing attention to chemicals found in Lake Monona after the July transformer fires downtown.
Amy Reed joins us now to show us what this group wants you to know. Amy.
The chemicals that we're talking about here are PFAS. We also talk about these cancer-causing chemicals when referencing firefighting foam from Truex Field, and that closed well 15 on the east side. But now this group is worried about how PFAS will move through one of the main fishing spots in the state. From the moment firefighting efforts began on the massive transformer fire in July, the DNR was keeping track of long-term environmental impacts firefighting foam would have. Now data showing various levels of PFAS in our stormwater and ultimately Lake Monona is concerning people like Maria Powell.
The science is telling us these levels are concerning.
Powell runs the Midwest Environmental Justice Organization. She works with people who fish along the banks of Lake Monona and depend on that fish for food. She said the PFAS levels in some parts higher than a proposed groundwater standard of 20 parts per trillion should be looked into more.
There are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of studies now on PFAS compounds. And there are scientists out there at Harvard, at the federal government, who are saying even that 20 parts per trillion standard, it should be way lower. It should be 1.
And even levels as low as 10 parts per trillion in water could result in levels closer to 1,000 parts per trillion in fish. And it could pose a danger to other animals as well.
It's more about almost what we don't know as much as what we do know. What we do know is concerning. What we don't know is a lot. And in order to protect people, we need to do a lot more investigation.
Amy Barrio with the Madison Water Utility said the threat to our drinking water is much lower, at least for now.
What people should understand when it comes to our system is that our wells are cased very deeply into the ground. It takes a long time for any kind of surface contaminant to make it into our wells.
She said this situation was taken seriously from the beginning, and the DNR is still doing remediation to keep future PFAS contamination from happening, as well as testing the groundwater to see how big of a problem this could be.
We're going to hopefully find out that level that is may or may not be in the groundwater, and then we can have some better knowledge.
We've reached out to the DNR for specifics on how they'll remediate these chemicals. They haven't gotten back to us yet. In the meantime, the water utility is keeping watch on how this data progresses, while Powell cautions people who fish on Lake Monona to be careful feeding the fish to children and pregnant women who are the most vulnerable to these chemicals.
All right, Amy, thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
Let's get a look now at your first alert weather. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti is out on the weather patio. Rain on the way.
No, the rain is here.
Rain is here.
Yeah, we've got some light rain right now in the Madison area. And we're also watching some thunderstorms out to the west. In fact, I'm just hearing some rumbles of thunder right now as we speak. So you can see the clouds have been across southern Wisconsin all day, but now we're starting to see some buildups of heavier thunderstorms over southwestern Wisconsin. There's a severe thunderstorm watch just to our south until 11 p.m. and a tornado watch for parts of northern Illinois. But right now it looks like the greatest threat for severe weather will stay south of us, but you can see some thunderstorms approaching Dane County from the west. Temperatures right now are in the middle 60s. The dew point temperatures are much higher than they were at this time yesterday, so the air is moistened up. That's why we're seeing the showers and storms. They'll come to an end later on tonight. Then look for a variably cloudy day tomorrow with a high temperature of 64. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
All right, Gary, thank you. A preliminary hearing for two Wisconsin brothers accused of running a illegal operation to manufacture vaping cartridges with THC oil has shed some new light on how authorities cracked the case. Detectives testified during yesterday's hearing in Kenosha that they busted a man selling those illegal cartridges in Waukesha. He then became a confidential informant for them, led them to 20-year-old Tyler Huffhines, the alleged mastermind. His 23-year-old brother Jacob Huffhines is also charged in that case. Their arrests this month came as authorities investigate hundreds of cases of a severe lung disease linked to vaping. No illnesses have been tied to that operation.
The cases of people in Wisconsin with severe lung disease linked to vaping is rising. The Wisconsin Department of Health Services says 60 cases have been reported in Wisconsin, and they are investigating 14 more patients. The CDC says cases were found in 26 counties, including Dane, Dodge, Grant, Greene, and Jefferson counties. The majority of cases reported using e-cigarettes or other vaping devices to inhale THC-containing products. There have been 805 cases and 12 deaths in the United States. So far, no deaths have been reported in Wisconsin.
A potential $2.8 million lawsuit against the city of Madison has gained a lot of public interest.
The family of the boy who was arrested in June says the police used excessive force and likely caused permanent damage. Jamie Perez spoke with a civil attorney today to see what, generally speaking, could happen in a civil case like this. Jamie?
The family is actually still waiting to hear back from the city to accept their claim for $2.8 million. The attorney that I spoke with today said the city will likely deny that claim. So we wanted to find out what happens next in a case like this. This is regarding that video that surfaced in June that we have been following since then. Some say the police used excessive force, but Madison Police Chief Mike Koval said the investigation found their use of force to be, quote, objectionably reasonable. The family still doesn't think so. I spoke with a civil attorney today about what is likely to happen next. He says it's still too early to say for sure, especially since a lawsuit hasn't officially been filed, but he did draw out some possibilities of what we could see in the coming weeks or months.
Many times, cases will never even find their way to the courthouse. They'll be resolved before that. When they are filed, however, and there is a lawsuit, it's often the case that they settle after the lawsuit is filed and before a jury is ever impaneled.
He also said that this could be a process that could span out for years. He said that if that lawsuit were filed today, it could take about 12 to 18 months from now. But an injured person for a lot of claims has years to bring that claim. We also reached out to the family and the city attorney for some additional comments, but they were not available for us today. This is a story that we will continue to follow. It obviously has a lot of public interest.
All right, Jamie, thanks for the update.
Sure.
Beaver Dam police are looking for suspects in a string of burglaries. Beaver Dam police say officers have responded to numerous thefts and burglaries over just the past several weeks. Most of those incidents took place in the southern part of Beaver Dam. Police say unlocked vehicles have been targeted, but even more concerning, homes have been entered by unlocked, unsecured access points and by forcible entry as well. Police also remind residents to always lock up their vehicles, doors, and windows on their homes. Anyone with information related to the identities of those individuals in the surveillance images is asked to contact the police department.
A Madison family had 3 of their cars stolen earlier this morning.
A teenager has been detained as a person of interest, but police believe the case involves a group of burglars. Our Amanda Quintana joins us now, has more details on this case. Amanda?
The family was sleeping in their home in the Hawks Landing neighborhood when their Honda, Acura, and Audi were all taken. The burglars got into an unlocked car in the driveway, then used the garage door opener inside to get to the other 2 cars in the garage and then into the house. The family didn't wake up, but a neighbor saw the group and called 911. Madison Police spokesperson Joel Despain says although 3 cars from one house might be a record, this crime is nothing new.
But this is a problem that's plaguing many communities right now. It's been a priority for us for a couple of years, frankly. We've arrested a lot of people. In fact, we've arrested 8 people just this month for stealing cars.
He says there have been 20 cars stolen in just the city of Madison in the month of September. In this case, officers were able to find one teen in the area and detain him. Investigators say the teens had been in the area for at least 30 minutes checking for unlocked cars, and that's what's happening in a lot of usually safe, often affluent neighborhoods. MPD has been arresting the same people over and over, but it doesn't seem to be stopping them from stealing another car. The department is asking anyone with surveillance cameras in that neighborhood or any other information about this case to reach out to them.
Just lock your cars. That would help a lot. Amanda, thank you.
Wisconsin utility regulators have authorized the construction of a $500 million power line despite claims that they ignored complaints, concerns, and alternative solutions. Public Service Commission approved the plan yesterday, rejecting accusations of a conflict of interest that were brought by two conservation groups, the Driftless Area Land Conservancy and the Wisconsin Wildlife Federation. The groups say they will appeal. The Cardinal Hickory Creek line would run between Dubuque and Middleton. Project supporters say it will allow for the transmission of more carbon-free electricity and also save customers money. But critics say the state could transition to renewable energy without damaging natural areas along the planned route of this proposed line. Construction is expected to start in 2021.
You want to set your alarms early tomorrow morning if you want first pick at Hamilton tickets. Tickets to the award-winning and incredibly popular Broadway musical go on sale at the Overture's box office starting at 8, and fans are expected to line up even earlier. People from across the Midwest expected here in Madison to secure their tickets. We were the only station talking live to the Overture's ticketing director this morning, who shared some tips and tricks to nab good seats.
Definitely have a couple different options in mind. We'll certainly do our best to make sure we can get the show and the price area that people are looking for, but we are also expecting an incredible demand, so have a couple backups in place.
Hamilton will be in town for 3 weeks starting November 19th. And if your family's looking for a cheaper option, you're in luck. The Overture's ever-popular Kids in the Rotunda series returns 1 week from tomorrow. The arts-focused program has been a community staple for more than 40 years now.
We recommend that if somebody's coming to Kids in the Rotunda, that they try to arrive at least 30 minutes before the shows. Performances are at 9:30, 11, and 1, because sometimes we do hit capacity and we have to close off the doors so nobody else can come in.
Seating is first come, first served. We have a link to this year's full Kids in the Rotunda schedule on our website, channel3000.com.
Tonight's Prep Mania High School Football Game of the Week. For first place in the Big 8, Verona visits Madison Memorial. Jay Wilson, Bill Brophy, Alan Minnert bring you the call of the game tonight, 7 o'clock, channel3000.com. And, of course, we'll also be streaming some other games, Milton at Stoughton and Wanakee at Sauk Prairie. Those games are available as well. More to come on News 3 Now at 5. Coming up, a senior administration official confirms one of the claims in the whistleblower complaint. We'll tell you where the impeachment inquiry goes from here.
And coming up tonight at 6, how a new task force hopes to make the adoption process easier for families in Wisconsin.
And the markets closed the week on a bit of a down note. The Dow off 71, a tougher Friday for the NASDAQ, which lost 91. The S&P down 16, and we'll be right back. Continuing to watch a developing story out of Sun Prairie. Police are investigating an incident at the high school. This is a live look at the scene. Plenty of police presence there. The school district says the police department, received an anonymous call that there was an active threat at the school. Officers responded. Students were evacuated. Law enforcement determined there was not an active threat. The school district says all students are safe, and the school says you can pick up your students at the Sun Prairie District Support Center. That's on South Bird Street. Again, a developing story, and we'll have the latest. You can monitor at channel3000.com as well as in our later newscasts. President Trump insisted on Twitter he did nothing wrong in his July call with the leader of Ukraine, asking for Joe Biden and his son Hunter to be investigated.
But the House impeachment inquiry moves on as lawmakers say they'll continue to investigate even while Congress is out on recess. As the congressional inquiry into the complaints picks up steam, a senior administration official confirms White House officials moved the transcript of the president's call with the leader of Ukraine to a computer system reserved for highly classified information.
As I understand, the document was handled appropriately at all times. His calls with the leaders of Mexico and Australia leaked, and then his conversation with the Russian ambassador and someone else from that embassy, I believe, leaked. And so there's great concern.
No one is above the law. The president should be held accountable.
3 House committee chairmen, including Congressman Adam Schiff, have subpoenaed Secretary of State Mike Pompeo for documents related to Ukraine as part of the House impeachment inquiry. The chairman also plans to interview several U.S. diplomats.
A law enforcement official says investigators that examined the burned-out wreckage of a scuba diving boat have not been able to determine what exactly ignited that fire that killed 34 people off the California coast. Officials say a 2-week-long examination of the conception ended today without a conclusive cause. An official says parts of the vessel have been sent to labs for additional testing. That fire, the subject of a federal criminal investigation now.
Thousands of people across the world are participating in a global strike to address the climate change crisis. Demonstrators from California to Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in Montreal and Madrid protesters are asking for governments worldwide to make changes in order to save our planet. A fast-moving glacier is putting a picturesque Italian mountain town at risk. Scientists believe it could just be a matter of time until a glacier on Mount Blanc collapses. Experts say a chunk of ice the size of 100 Olympic swimming pools could break off. The glacier is melting so fast it's moving at a speed of nearly 2 feet every day. Experts blame global warming.
The situation that we have right now on all the glaciers is very dynamic because of climate change, of course.
Authorities have installed a radar system to keep tabs on the glacier and keep people safe.
Let's get a look at our first alert weather now. How much rain is coming our way? Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has some answers. Gary?
It all depends on whether or not you get caught underneath one of the heavier thunderstorms that we're seeing. So we do have an alert day in the forecast for tonight for some isolated strong to heavy thunderstorms, especially south of Madison. Those thunderstorms could bring some heavy downpours. And there's even an outside threat that there could be some severe weather. In fact, you look at visible cloud track, we've been stuck underneath clouds most of the day, but where the sun was shining, thunderstorms develop very rapidly. Now those are tracking northeastward into southern Wisconsin and especially parts of eastern Iowa and northern Illinois. We're seeing some flashes of lightning there, so I know with football games going on tonight, that's going to have to be top of mind. If you see lightning around, they're going to have to delay the games. But it's spotty. Not everybody's seeing the lightning at any given point, but some of these storms are producing some heavy downpours. Farther to the south, there's a severe thunderstorm watch basically for northwestern Illinois and eastern Iowa until 11 p.m. It does not include southwestern Wisconsin. The National Weather Service decided not to include those counties. And then farther to the south, a tornado watch in effect for much of northern Illinois, south and west of Chicago. There's been rounds of severe weather and heavy rain there as well. The severe weather threat does extend into southern Wisconsin. There's a marginal risk for an isolated severe thunderstorm from about Madison southward, but the slight to enhanced risk of severe weather where high winds and tornadoes are more likely is down in northern Illinois. But take a look at the rain just over the last 24 hours. 2 to 4 inches or more of rain across parts of north central Illinois and 1 to 2 inches of rain from about the Quad Cities into the Chicago area. Lesser amounts of rain into southern Wisconsin. But some of these storms, again, are capable of producing a ½ inch to an inch of rain in a short period of time. Computer models through midday Sunday, including the rainfall from tonight and also rainfall from tomorrow night into Sunday morning, probably around a ½ inch or a little bit more from Madison Madison southward, several inches across parts of northern Illinois. Some of that has already fallen. And then we have alert days in the forecast continuing from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. The heavy rainfall threat will be mainly Monday night and then into Tuesday and Wednesday. Severe weather threat might be a little higher on Monday because sunshine will allow temperatures to get into the lower 80s. The atmosphere will be very unstable. It'll be very humid as well. GFS computer model has come down a little bit on the rainfall amounts through Thursday afternoon of next week. Generally about 2 to 3 inches of rain over much of Wisconsin. The European computer model has come down a bit too, but still generally in the 2 to 4 inch range through much of southern Wisconsin. That's just rainfall that we just don't need. Live view from the WISC Skycam showing gray skies and rain falling here. The Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison showing some light rain falling there as well. As we check out the almanac for today, temperatures haven't moved very much. We started out with a low this morning of 61 as the clouds moved in. We've only made it to 65 so far. We're at 64 with a thunderstorm being reported at the airport. The humidity at 93%, and right now the showers and thunderstorms moving through the area. Badger game tomorrow, kickoff 11 a.m. against Northwestern. I think we'll stay dry during the game. Temperatures will start out in the upper 50s, end up in the low to mid 60s by the time the game is over, so it should be a comfortable day for football. Temperatures are pretty comfortable across the Midwest. La Crosse right now at 74 degrees, whereas underneath the clouds Madison is at 64, but it is cooler up to the north. Those dew point temperatures yesterday, remember how they were in the lower 40s? They've come right back up into the low to mid 60s, so the air has become much more humid, and that's why we're seeing the showers and thunderstorms. So for tonight, mostly cloudy skies, the showers and thunderstorms mainly this evening. They should end overnight with a low temperature of 51, it'll be a little cooler. Then for tomorrow, look for variably cloudy skies. Should be dry during the day with a high temperature of 64. As we check out RPM Future Track, you can see the shower and thunderstorm chances moving out later on tonight. Lows in the lower 50s. Some sunshine mixed in with the clouds tomorrow. High temperatures in the middle 60s. Tomorrow night, that front comes backward as a warm front. We'll see showers and thunderstorms. Lows in the mid 50s, and then some shower and thunderstorm chances on Sunday. High temperatures eventually topping out around 70. Again, the heaviest amounts of rain from Madison southward into northern Illinois. 7 to 10 day forecast. You can see those temperatures in the lower 80s for Monday, mid 70s for Tuesday. Shower and thunderstorm chances should end by the end of the week and then come back on Saturday. Temperatures a little more fall-like toward the end of next week. As we check out first alert traffic right now, here's the view from the DOT camera at East Washington Avenue looking up toward the Capitol, and you can see traffic moving slowly with the rain that's falling. Right now, delays on the Beltline in both directions. A lot of that due to the rain slowing down traffic. Also some delays on Verona Road as well. Right now, about a half-hour commute in either direction from University Avenue to the interstate on the Beltline. If you're heading out of Madison, a little over a half hour now from the Beltline down to Janesville on I-3990, over a half hour from Sauk City, or to Sauk City from West Middleton on US 12, and it's 19 minutes to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you.
Still ahead on News 3 Now at 5, a second deadly outbreak of Legionnaire's disease strikes the United States. What doctors say could be behind it. It's just ahead. Second deadly outbreak of Legionnaire's disease strikes the southeastern United States in as many months.
The North Carolina Department of Public Health says the number of cases has doubled to 53. At least one person has died and 42 others have been hospitalized. The CDC says the rate has increased 550% since 2000. The disease is a serious lung infection caused by the Legionella bacteria, typically found in warm, fresh water like hot tubs, hot water tanks, and decorative fountains. It can also be found in shower heads and plumbing systems in large buildings.
I think it's largely because of increased recognition. That in combination with a potentially increased number of cases in complex plumbing, in buildings where the plumbing is neglected.
Symptoms include severe coughing, muscle aches, fever, shortness of breath, and headaches. It can typically be treated with antibiotics, but people over the age of 50, those with weakened lungs or a weakened immune system, are at a greater risk.
A new study finds pet-loving millennials are willing to pay for good care and convenience when it comes to the health care for their four-legged housemates. According to the American Pet Products Association, U.S. pet owners are expected to spend a record $75 billion on veterinary care this year alone, largely driven by millennials making pets a priority. A separate study found 92% of millennials are as concerned about their pet's health as they are their own and would rather spend time with their pet than with their spouse, parents, or friends combined.
Most millennials have pets now, rather than children, and so these are their babies.
All of them combined.
Combined, yeah.
A recent study also found more millennials would give up their job or going to bars before they would give up their pet.
That's understandable.
That's you in the news house.
That's right. We'll have another check of our weather when we come back. Some lightning on the radar.
Yeah, seeing some thunderstorms across parts of southern Wisconsin. The severe weather threat is to our south. Severe thunderstorm watch until 11 p.m. for northwestern Illinois and eastern Iowa. It does not include any counties in Wisconsin. The tornado watch farther to the south, but you can see lightning starting to pick up as thunderstorms start to roll through. That'll probably interfere with some high school football games tonight. Temperatures right now mid-60s for the most part. It's warmer in La Crosse where they've had some sunshine, but it is pretty humid out there. Expect a break in the rain for tomorrow, then more thunderstorm chances right through the first half of next week with alert days in the forecast for heavy rain potential.
All right, Gary, thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks for joining us. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell coming your way next.